Hello and welcome to the High School Huddle. Along with Ronnie Phillips, Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you. We get set for the high school football season 2023 style. Today, we take a look at the Bishop McGuinness Fightin Irish as they take on a big 5A2 district schedule. But before we talk about the Irish, let's first mention one of our great sponsors. The High School Huddle is presented by Generations Church. Love God, love people, serve both well. Contact Generations Church by calling 405-282-6848 or visit them online at generationsguthrie.com. Bishop McGuinness, 10-2 a year ago, did not make the semis for the first time in a while. Usually not saying that with Bishop McGuinness, who's been one of the top teams in Class 5A football over the last several years. And a little news in the offseason, the big one, the quarterback moving out, transferring out in McGinnis to Dell City. In River Warren. So McGinnis already scrambling a little bit there at quarterback. They got a nice backup option there. We'll see how he does on Friday night. But Coach Brian Pierce always has a very talented offensive line. Not necessarily the biggest offensive line, but they're really, really smart over at Bishop McGuinness. Got the defense coming back as well. They play in 5A2, and there's you usually pencil them in for that, fighting for that 1-2 spot. This year it might be fighting for that 2-3-4 spot. Looking ahead, of course, Carl Albert a heavy favorite in there, but got 3 people with the other teams in there. But guys, Bishop McGuinness, and this might be their last year in 5A. Yeah. They might be bumping down to 4A football. We'll see how all the Rule 14s and all that play into things. But this year, another 5A year.
Yeah, I mean, McGinnis predominantly, we see him every year. And we've called a lot of their playoff games. We've called a lot of them in state championship games. Just a great football program, do a great job. There's only one thing I'm ever critical about with them, and that's their press box. Everything else is very good. No, they're a great football team year in and year out. This is going to be a little bit I think there's a lot of games here as we look at their schedule that you're going to go, gosh, they could, maybe they will, maybe they won't. So not quite the McGinnis team we're used to. It's
going to come down to quarterback play, right? Yeah. You lose River Warren over to Dell City, and now you got Damon Cochran coming in, the Missouri baseball commit. Yep. So it's going to really come down to how he plays and how that offensive and defensive line plays as well.
Yeah. Before we look at the season schedule and our predictions here, McGinnis has won 22 straight winning seasons.
Pretty good.
That's the most in 5A football right now, more than Carl Albert in a row.
Okay, that surprises me.
22 straight. Will it be 23? We think so.
Yeah.
But let's dive into that season schedule. First things first, only 9 games this year. I guess T-Fred didn't get that 10th game scheduled somewhere. So
he said, you know what? You guys have been working hard. Take a week off.
T-Fred gives the team off in week 10. Good job there, T-Fred.
But, buddy.
You see the non-district portion of the schedule. Putnam City, Clinton, and Bishop Kelly. And, guys, 3 wins, very possible for the Irish.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. I think I have them winning those 3 non-district games. Of course, the Bishop Kelly big rivalry game, Battle of the Bishops. That's usually a pick'em game, but I think Bishop Kelly's been down. I don't see him getting a lot better this year. I think McGinnis gets that win. I think Clinton, they took it to Clinton last year. Clinton, not the Clinton of old. I believe they won 7 games last year. I think Clinton did, and so I think they get into district play a perfect 3-0.
Take a look at the district. Of course, we know all about the district. Guthrie, Carl Albert, Piedmont. Of course, the Irish very well, I would think. We'll say somewhat easy if they can get past a rival game and pass a 6A program in Putnam City. Clinton, a strong 4A team. So it's not a guaranteed 5-0. I think, me personally, I think it is 5-0. Yeah. McGinnis will have Guthrie at home this year. And I think the Blue Jays have a little bit more this year than years past in this game. Now, McGinnis does control the
series.
Especially as of late over Guthrie. But I think that twists a little bit. McGinnis has had a hard time with Carl Albert in all the years past. I don't see that changing this year. Carl Albert really good on paper. And then Southeast, and then they finish up at Piedmont. I think Piedmont is a little bit better this year. I think McGinnis comes down a little bit. It's a pick'em game, but for me, I will pick the Irish to go 6-3 on the season with a loss to Piedmont, Carl Albert, and Guthrie. And there's a lot of teams that would go 6-3.
No question. No question. I'm a little different than you. I've got them going 7-2 this year. Their sole losses to Guthrie and Carl Albert. I think they clip Piedmont that last game of the year for the Irish. I think the Clinton game could be a good game. You never know. It's Clinton, right?
On the road at the Tornado Bowl.
On the road at the Tornado Bowl, and then the Kelly game. We talked about that, a rivalry game. But I think they'll get those wins as well. I've got them finishing 7-2.
We'll get that up here in just a second, Ronnie.
Yeah, again, I was going between 6-3 and probably 5-4 possibly, because I think Bishop Kelly does have a chance in that game, but I do think McGinnis will clip him in that game. So I have the Irish going 6-3 for the season, with their losses to Guthrie, Piedmont, and of course Carl Albert, which everybody thinks Carl Albert's going to have a real good season again this year.
And we'll get Ronnie 6-3 up here in just a second to make it official here on prediction. And with that, though, if McGinnis finish second, third, fourth, and we'll throw in first too, they have a great shot in the first round of the playoffs. Remember, 5A2 was 4-0 against 5A1. So no matter how it falls, unless something just goes crazy, McGinnis is a very likely team that can win on the road if they were to finish third or fourth.
Well, and the young man that's going to step in for River Warren, the Cochran kid, we're very familiar with him. He transferred to Bishop McGinnis from where we live, Guthrie, Oklahoma. And I'll tell you what, boys, the kid's an athlete. I mean, coming after his sophomore year, he's an athlete. And so you give him 7-8 games under his belt, the kid can go out and make things happen. So, he's the wild card, no doubt.
No, he's a competitor too, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, he pitched in the state tournament this year on the baseball side of things and went toe-to-toe with the Noble kid who's played at Arkansas, and he was toe-to-toe with them and had a chance to win that game. They ended up losing it late, but he's going to be out there. He's going to sling in. Again, it's going to depend on how he plays throughout the season on McGinnis' success.
Yeah, and the Cochran kid goes to many quarterback camps throughout the country. So
he's ready to go.
Ready. So there are the season predictions for the Bishop McGinnis: 6-3 for Chris, 7-2 for Phil, 6-3 for Ronnie. We'll see how it plays out on the gridiron. Don't forget to follow the High School Huddle all season long on secondbananamedia.com. Also, our YouTube page. That's the main place to go to. Go to YouTube, search Second Banana Media, and you will find the High School Huddle podcast. Be sure to follow that. High School Huddle is also on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Best of luck to the Bishop McGuinness Fighting Irish this season. Best of luck to your team, and we can't wait to kick off the 2023 football season.